achieving the things that they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunities. It's what my grandmother told me I had to do. You know, I was sitting with to Tyrese a couple weeks ago. You know, just coming off the Transformers with him, just talk, you know, just about the business and just trying to really just he and I get on the same wavelength so I could be of some assistance if I can. And there's a concept that I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea, you know? I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be, you know? And there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice, like you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like, it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know? So for me, I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make.
When you're striving to become successful, you have to make sure that you understand that failure isn't a bad thing. And when you do fail, you can avoid that by making sure that you take advantage of every opportunity, not viewing it as a failure, but viewing it as just a new point to start from, a different vantage point to attack the problem that you've been facing for a while now, and figuring out a new way to get around that obstacle all by yourself, and learning new tricks, tips along the way, and figuring out how to grow and how to learn about yourself in the environment that you're in order to strive for that greatness that you truly want to achieve. So every time you fail, you should view it as a great opportunity to learn something new, opposed to an opportunity to feel bad about yourself and be full of self-pity and not understand why the world is the way that it is, but instead stop asking questions and start doing things. Make sure that you are taking advantage of every single opportunity that you're given. There's going to be a lot that you're going to have to go through, but when you're in those rough times, it's important to remember the good times that you've lived through and always keep those in your mind, because when times get hard, you're going to want to look to something that you enjoy and something fun and something that you like to do. So you might as well focus on the stuff that you enjoy. And when you're striving to become the successful individual that you want to be, you need to make sure that you're always focused on the good times, never on the bad times. And when you're stuck in the bad times, in the deep end and rough patch of your life, focus on what's truly important to you, the good times.
I believe, and I learned very young from my parents, absolutely, that you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick.
If there was one concept that I would suggest to people to take a daily confrontation with, is fear. The problem with fear is that it lies. For me, the daily confrontation with fear has become a real practice for me since about 3 years ago. I went skydiving. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified. You keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane, and you can't figure out why you would do that. So you get there and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys would say, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is you're doing, well, why the hell, what could happen? That the chute wouldn't open, right? Everything's normal. So you fly, and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red, and it's yellow and green, right? So right now, the light's red. So then you start thinking, at some point, the light's going to go green, but you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait, and it goes yellow, and the light goes green, and somebody opens the door, and in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Terror, 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 right? So you go, and then if you were smart, you sat in the back so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane, and you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death.
I was just having a debate with a friend of mine, and we got stuck on the difference between fault and responsibility. She kept talking about how something was somebody's fault, it's somebody's fault. And I was like, it don't matter whose fault it is that something is broken if it's your responsibility to fix it. For example, it's not somebody's fault if their father was an abusive alcoholic, but it's for damn sure their responsibility to figure out how they're going to deal with those traumas and try to make a life out of it. It's not your fault if your partner cheated and ruined your marriage, but it is for damn sure your responsibility to figure out how to take that pain and how to overcome that and build a happy life for yourself. Fault and responsibility do not go together. It sucks, but they don't. When something is somebody's fault, we want them to suffer. We want them punished. We want them to pay. And we want it to be their responsibility to fix it, but that's not how it works, especially when it's your heart. Your heart, your life, your happiness is your responsibility and your responsibility alone. As long as we're pointing the finger and stuck in whose fault something is, we're jammed and trapped into victim mode. When you're in victim mode, you are stuck in suffering. The road to power is in taking responsibility. Your heart, your life, your happiness is your responsibility and your responsibility alone.
So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section down below.